This week's Digital Rainmakers broadcast. I'm gonna share my screen. Hi, my name's Adam Chandler. If we have not met, this is a broadcast series that let me get to my right screen. There we go. So this is a broadcast series that I've been doing for the last few weeks now, leading up to the launch of my second book. The book is called Digital Rainmakers, it's all about how to use systems and technology to organize your digital life, to make your life easier, to make selling in your business smoother, to improve sales and profitability in your business, but also to just reduce a lot of the headaches and the technical challenges that I see getting in a lot of people's way. Right. And this week we're talking about tracking and attribution. And this is something that I've seen, make a tremendous difference for myself and for a ton of other people that I've coached and helped. I work with a lot of independent entrepreneurs, right? Network marketers, affiliate marketers, independent business owners, typically in online businesses, and we actually used to run a coaching program. I've ran a few of these coaching programs over the years with a couple different business partners. A couple different people that I've enrolled to help me train groups of entrepreneurs. And one of the biggest things that we saw is that once we had people starting to focus on tracking and attribution, right? They were tracking the things that led to the results that they wanted, right? And really teaching people to not to focus so much on the results themselves, but on the activities that lead to the results, right? And it was like the biggest game changer for them. So that's really what the topic of this this event is all about. So let me know in the chat, by the way. Let me know what type of business that you're in. Let me know where in the world you are tuning in from, you're watching this from. I'd appreciate that, so I can welcome you, as we go, right? So back to my story. I was coaching these. They were called 100-day Biz Builder challenges, right? And one of the biggest things that made the biggest difference for people was we gave them a momentum tracker, and I'll show you what the tracker looks like in just a minute. But we gave them points for doing the income producing activities, right? Like if they exposed somebody to their business, if they reached out to share their opportunity or their products with somebody, we'd give them a point. If they, we'd give them points, right? If they made a piece of social media content and published it online, they'd get points for that, right? If they had a follow-up conversation with somebody that they'd already shared their business and their products and their program with, they'd get points for that. And it was like the ultimate look in the mirror for people, because they could see very clearly the areas that they were where they were doing well, right? And then the areas where they were completely falling short, right? So we had one guy who in the 12-week program that we were doing this, he enrolled he became the number 1 recruiter in his company of over 50,000 associates, right? And he really attributed it to the tracker, right? And one thing that he saw was that he was doing a lot of the passive marketing, right? So that's another distinction that we made in the program, was passive marketing versus active marketing, right? Passive marketing was like, you're posting content, you're putting stuff out there online in hopes that somebody is going to come across it and click and click on your lead capture page and kind of enter your funnel or your like marketing ecosystem, right? That's passive marketing. Active marketing is like actually communicating with another person. And now that could be over the phone. It could be, through a messenger conversation, whether that be Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, whatever, right? Or LinkedIn Messenger, whatever, but you're actively communicating with another person, right? And what he found, what this producer found, was that he was doing a lot of the passive stuff, but he was really neglecting the active stuff. So he was able to see that in like week 1 of our 12-week program. He started doing active marketing as opposed to just passive marketing, right? And that was like that like opened up the floodgates. He started recruiting a ton of people in his business, and he attributes a lot of that to the coaching and the accountability of the program, but also to the tracker, right? Because he started tracking the things that mattered to him in his business. Another distinction that we weren't really making at the time, but that I've learned since then, which I really think helps to illustrate the point, is passive is leading indicators versus lagging indicators. Okay, so lagging indicators are the results themselves. Leading indicators are the activities that lead to the results, right? So we've really taught people to focus on the leading indicators, right? And tracking the leading indicators, the activities that you're doing that lead to the results that you want, whether that's, getting an appointment, getting a lead, making a sale, right? Enrolling somebody into the business, right? Those are all the results themselves. The lagging indicators, the leading indicators are the activities, whether it's posting or exposing people to your products, your services, your program, your opportunity, right? We had another guy who week 12 of his program, he enrolled 12 people in 1 week into his business because of the momentum that he had been building up, kind of through the process. He started off getting 2-3 people a week enrolling with him into the business, and then over time it became 5, 6, 7, 10, and then he had the 12th week of the program, the final week of the program, he enrolled 12 people into his business that week. And much of it is because he was doing the tracking and attribution. Let me actually show you. I'm going to move this screen. I'm going to show you my the tracker itself. Okay, so here is the momentum tracker. We've kind of adapted this over the years, but you could, not much. You could see how simple this is, right? You could do this on like a notepad if you wanted to, right? But so part of it was like that there was a group environment, and we had them not just sharing their points from or not just tracking their activity. Sorry, there's a dump truck driving by. Not just tracking their activity, but also sharing their results with other people. Right? I was in another personal development program a couple years later, where and guys, by the way, if you're getting some aha moments, if you're digging this content, if you're liking some of this stuff, please let me know in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, so one of the things that so I was in a personal development program as a participant years later, and one of the things that they had us do was have like an accountability partner. And this is something that anybody who's up to something in your business, in your life, it doesn't have to be related to business. It could be related to health, fitness, weight loss, finances, but it certainly works incredibly well in business. And it's so incredibly simple, right? You have one person that you kind of, enroll into doing this with you, right? And the agreement is that every single day by 9 a.m., right, you will email each other with 2 lists. The first is a list of things that you are committing to get done today, like activities that you will accomplish today, right? And then the second list is, what did I say that I was going to do yesterday, and then did I do them or not? And we would simply indicate with either a C or an IC. C for complete or completed, IC for incomplete. Okay. And there was no, and you weren't allowed to give any explanation whatsoever. That was one of the nice things about it. There was no room for any stories about, well, I didn't get this done because of da 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 da. It was just, was it done or was it not done? Did I do what I said I was going to do, or did I not do what I said I was going to do? What I told you that I was going to do in yesterday's email, right? And it, if like all you need is one person who's also got things going on, projects that they're working on that they want to accomplish, right? Things that they want to accomplish in their business or in other areas of their life, and then just come to the and then just share the rules of the game with them, right? Which is, I'm going to email you by 9 a.m. Every day, or 5 days a week or whatever, right? And I'm gonna tell you the things that I'm gonna do today, and then the things that I told you I was gonna do yesterday, and did I do them or not? And then you have that agreement with one other person. It's incredible when you get some accountability, and you don't need to do like an accountability program. I mean, we had hundreds of people doing our accountability programs, right? And we were able to get people, tremendous results. But I'm saying you don't even need that, right? You can just get one other person and say, and just, share, what I just shared with you. And that becomes like accountability, right? Because as independent business owners, as home-based business owners, right? It's like we don't have, especially if you're new and maybe you haven't developed the discipline skills of veteran entrepreneurs, right? Like I've been working from home full time for over 12 years now. I've developed some, the necessary skills and disciplines needed to make it work over a long period of time. But especially if you're new, or if you're working with people that are new to this and they're not used to, they're not used to having to have deadlines for themselves, right? They're used to a world, an environment, right? Like a job where deadlines are imposed upon them, where you have accountability just as part of being, working for somebody else, and being in a job, right? And when you become an entrepreneur, right, you kind of have to, you don't have anybody looking over your shoulder doing that. You've got to develop this stuff for yourself. And that's what I'm, hoping that I'm helping you do with this message here today. Please let me know in the comments if you think I'm doing so. Okay, so back to this document. Okay, this is the document. This is the momentum tracker. We've kind of varied it a little bit, from program to program, and this is kind of the newest version of it. But you see the first column, hour of power. And that's like, you do like a morning routine that empowers you, right? It could be a combination of reading, listening to a podcast or some type of a audio book, right? It's like education, gratitude. Maybe you make a gratitude list. Maybe you've got some other, we do a morning formula. I've got a morning formula document that I use, and that I share with my team and my clients. But you're only allowed 1 point per day for that, because otherwise, people would just do personal development all the time and they wouldn't actually get the results, because, and that's a real thing too. There's, the term personal development junkie. It's like, you don't ever actually do anything. You love, like, the idea of improvement, but you don't ever actually take the action. We need to get away from that, right? So you only get 1 point per day for doing some type of an empowerment ritual in the morning that sets the stage for the day, right? The second one is posting organic content on social media. You get 1 point each, right? So if you make a piece of content, you share it on LinkedIn, you get a point, right? You make a different piece of content, you put it on, in a Facebook group, you get a point, right? You get points for doing the income producing activities that people feel, that people are uncomfortable with, right? Until you develop the habits, right? Adding 5 new contacts, whether, you're adding 5 new contacts on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, right? You're growing your audience little by little every day. If you add 5 contacts to your social media audience, right, you get a point for that. If you expose somebody to your products, your service, your offer, right? Like let's say you have somebody, you say, hey, I've got something to share with you. I think you're really going to like it. They say, yeah, send it over. You share it with them. That's an exposure, right? You follow up with you have a follow up call with a prospect. You get 2 points each, and the reason why we give 2 points each for that is because it's one of the highest income producing activities that you can have, and that's it. And then you just tally your points, kind of week by week, right? And then another part of what we had people do is not only tracking this stuff but sharing their points. And that was one of the agreements of the program, and that's really where the accountability came in, right? And you can imagine some people really they didn't share their trackers. They vanished from the program because this type of accountability is very confronting because it's like a look in the mirror of what you're doing and what you're not doing. It's easier to just read personal development books all day than it is to actually get out of your comfort zone and promote something or talk to other people, right? But this kind of forced them into having those conversations, getting out of their comfort zone, but more importantly, improving, right? It was okay if you started, week one with only 5 points for the week, as long as you made a consistent effort to get better and better and better. And the people that did that, and the people that actually, the people that embraced the accountability and embraced getting better and embraced, tracking and their actions, not from week to week, right? Those were the people that got the most out of it, and those were the people that it was a night and day difference to what was happening in their business, right? And I'll show you Marquell, right? This is Marquell. He was the he was the guy who he got fit. He did the program, right? He said, I have to be honest, I used to be an entrepreneur who used to just wing it, be all over the place, have very little, if any, results to show for it. With Adam's help, I was able to get laser beam focused on a strategic 90-day plan. That's the coaching program that we did, right? It was a 12-week, 90-day coaching program. I was able to become the #1 recruiter in my network marketing company of over 50,000 associates. Now, I went to an event in Nashville about a year or so ago, right? And I randomly ran into Marquell and his business partner, right? And this is us at lunch that day at the event. And he told me that him and his business partner did $3 million last year, right? Which is significantly more than I made, by the way, right? And it was, and that was all, him and his production and everything that he, him and his business partner, created a great business. And, in no way am I, trying to take any credit for that. But I did, but this program really helped start him on the path. That was kind of a stepping stone to, the fact that he just, made $3 million last year in his business. And a lot of it came from the focus that he said he was able to get from, the coaching, the accountability, and the momentum tracker. And that's really what this message is about. So if you're, let me know in the chat, in the comments, let me know, are you tracking now, right? Or do you have a tracking system in place? Do you have accountability in place? Do you think that having a system for tracking will help you to get to the next level? Maybe it's you, or maybe it's even people that you're working with, right? Team members, could be employees, could be people that are joining you in various different types of businesses. If you think that this type of thing would be beneficial for them, right, or for yourself, just let me know in the comments, because a lot of times this is like the missing link. It's like such a look in the mirror, right, at what you're doing and what you're not doing, right? Because in this world, right, as in the world of of online entrepreneurship, of home-based business, right, we don't have those deadlines. We don't have people looking over our shoulder. We don't have the accountability that comes with that other environment, which is working a job, right? And doing things like this, implementing systems like this, can be the missing link, and is the missing link for a lot of people, especially just getting started, because it creates some structure and it creates clarity, right? And that's one of the biggest things that I see that are missing for so many people is they're kind of all over the place. They're kind of winging it, right? And there's not a lot of structure. There's not a game plan. And what, a tracking system like this does is it creates that game plan for you. So again, let me know in the chat, let me know in the comments if you want a copy of the momentum tracker. Happy to share it with you. It's a PDF, easily to shareable through Messenger. If you think that this would be beneficial for you or the people that you are working with. That's my Digital Rainmakers message and broadcast for today. Appreciate you coming on here and being part of it with me, leading up to the launch of the book, The Digital Rainmakers. Next week, we'll cover a different chapter from the book. This one was all about tracking and attribution. We got some really cool ones coming up next Thursday and the following Thursday. I appreciate you. We'll see you out there.